Then duck out of that line all by myself. This could be big trouble.
Oh, and there goes Fontaine. Contact and around. Crafton involved, Rhodes involved, Parker Kligerman, John Hunter Nemechek, Bo Lamastus, Johnny Sauter back there. Was it? Disaster for Matt Crafton and Ben Rhodes. A couple of championship hopefuls, and look at the debris. It started at the front with that truck, Fontaine. A little bit of contact got him sideways. And for Junior Joyner, not what he wants to see. His 88 truck crumpled.
But I tell you, Vince, I think, there's Parker Kligerman out. Obviously a huge hit for Parker. He lays down on the track. They're tending to Chris Fontaine in that 47 truck. Kevin, I think the stage racing, the job that Crafton had done to this point, is going to make him safe to the next round, as his race obviously will end.
Yeah, and that's why you have to race so hard in those early stages, because you don't want to leave it, to risk at the end of these races, because stuff like this is going to continue to happen as we go throughout the day. We see the 41 truck of Ben Rhodes. It'll just depend on how much damage they can get fixed within the damaged vehicle policy time limit.
There's the 21 of Sauter, who'd already clinched a playoff spot earlier today. We've now gone from yellow to red, so teams will not be able to work on their vehicles under the red flag. It's good to see Matt Crafton get out of his truck, but Stuart Friesen, who's had so many issues today, was able to avoid all the contact.
I don't know, maybe they can get to pit road and work on that engine, see if they can pick up some speed.
Brett Moffitt, another one of our championship hopefuls, who has had some issues today, as you can see with that damage, able to avoid that mess as well. It had been such a great day for Matt Crafton. He'd stayed on that bottom line and made his way from the back to the front, but his day is done. Let's see how it all developed. Watch the 47 of Fontaine.
I think this is where it starts. He's up high and goes to the bottom, and Haley was there. Oh.
Watch this 75 truck, Michael. I mean, he's in the wreck right here, and he comes down the racetrack and
no brakes, obviously.
Hit again.
Oh.
And those are the ones that they all hurt. But when you start getting hit a second and third time, that's when it really starts to catch you off guard.
Fontaine to the middle of the track, and Haley was already committed there. There's just nowhere that Haley could have gone. Bam.
Double figure trucks involved in this one.
You can see both Haley trying to get lower and Fontaine lower, and the result was carnage. And
that's what we were talking about earlier. You saw the 47 truck come down right there to block. Haley had already committed to, and was way lower, and from where the spotters are, that's a really tough angle to tell the driver, you're clear, you're clear, you're clear. And it'd be interesting to hear his radio as to what his spotter was telling him at that particular time.
Well, we had been talking earlier about it seemed like we were so close to having the big one, but everyone had been able to keep it gathered up. Not this time. 10 different trucks involved. Watch out the back of the 98 of Infinger, who was leading at the time.
Passenger clear. You're clear now. He's not. Crash behind you. Crash behind you. Just roll on through here. The entire field's in it.
Big hit for Crafton.
Look at Todd Gilliland slipping through, and Myatt Schneider. Good job by those guys. Austin Hill. But unbelievable contact.
From the view of Noah Gregson.
Back it down, back it down, back it down. They're going to hit it. They're going to come back to the flag. Get on the apron, 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 apron. Clear, lower, get lower. All right, keep coming through here.
I love the job Gregson did there. He went to the apron. There's room down there, and he used it.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you're running on the top, you don't have any options like that. And you know, like you say, he did a great job, and his spotter was immediately telling him, get low, get low, get lower.
Tony Hirschman, the spotter for Noah Gregson. Some spots for Kyle Busch in the Cup Series. There's the damage to that truck of Johnny Sauter. Fortunately for Sauter, he had already accrued enough points today to be able to clinch a playoff spot. There's the list of drivers involved in the accident. Sauter, Haley, both had already clinched playoff spots. Ben Rhodes and Matt Crafton not so fortunate.
There's the Chris Fontaine truck. You see they've gotten him out and pulling the truck off. Sure, he'll go to the infield care center and be checked out with all the drivers that are involved in the crash.
About the 41 of Rhodes and the 21 of Sauter. Caitlin?
Well, before that red flag came out, the teams were able to work on that 41 machine a little bit. They had the saws out trying to provide clearance for those tires to repair the body, but they were also taking pictures of the right side of the truck and bringing them back over to crew chief Eddie Tricona so he could take a look and see exactly what was happening on the right side. Also for the 21 of Johnny Sauter, another playoff contender, a lot of body damage for them as well, but these crews still not allowed to work on these trucks right now under red.
There's nothing they can do to the 21, is there, Kevin?
No, I think the 21's done. You know, I think that the 41, I mean, his playoff hopes are going to come down to how they fix this truck. And the first thing that's going to happen from a race team standpoint is you have to meet the damaged vehicle policy. So their main priority at this point is to make sure the tires don't go flat. Get back on the racetrack and meet minimum speed and wait for the next caution.
And you get a break at Talladega with meeting the minimum speed, because if you can just hang on the back of the draft, that'll get you there. And then the fate of Matt Crafton, it could depend on what kind of job Rhodes does on the repair, and also how much engine's left in the 52 of Stuart Friesen. Can he pass enough trucks to get up there and displace Crafton from the spot he's currently on the bubble, 15 points ahead? But does he have enough engine in it to finish the race?
Well, you just never know how it's going to turn here. 16 truck probably thought his championship hopes and day was done. Next thing you know, you have a huge crash. He misses it. They're back on the lead lap and on the good side of the point standing. So you just never know, and you just have to constantly keep adjusting to the situation, fixing your truck. You know, keeping a positive attitude from a driver's standpoint to say, okay, reset here. Let's get ourselves back in the game. What's the scenario? Here's what we need to do. And now it's not always about winning and losing. Sometimes it's just about surviving, and especially here at Talladega, it's a survival game.
You know, that's one of the challenges you're going to have here at Talladega. Just look back to last year and what happened. Similar situation with the big accident, who got through and who didn't, and that ended up being key and who went on and fought for the championship.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe with an engine problem earlier. You can see Ben Rhodes with issues with his truck being involved in a crash, and it looked like there was no way. There's Fontaine spinning again. There was no way John Hunter Nemechek was going to be able to make the next round because of the big crash by Kaz Gralla there. But just watch all the things that develop as guys just get crashed. That was Nemechek in the pink truck. He was into the outside wall. Matt Crafton with heavy damage.
There you go. Needed a bigger hammer.
Yeah, that'll do it. And then on the last lap, look at this mess. And somehow sneaking through all that was John Hunter Nemechek, and he got through.
And that allowed him to move on to the next round of the playoffs. And, well, of course, Nemechek not running for the Truck Series Championship this year, but the driver of that truck was Matt Crafton. And Crafton was having such a strong day. But his day's done. Truck towed to the garage, and right now all eyes on Eddie Troconis. That's Troconis, the crew chief for the 41 of Ben Rhodes. And winner earlier this season at Kentucky.
You know what I like about this, Vince? He's down there and he's in charge. He's on the radio. He's pointing fingers. He's telling everybody what to do. He's off the pit box, and that's when you know things are serious. Is when the crew chief gets off the pit box and he's starting to take control, and that's what Eddie's doing right here, and he has to, because this has to be right.
And he's a hands-on guy. He can get in there and fix it himself, but he knows there's guys trained specifically to fix damage on a truck. They have a plan in place, and as soon as NASCAR lifts the red flag, they'll get all over that truck.
And the advantage here is the fact that they have the red flag. They can make sure all their sawzalls have blades on them. They can make sure they don't need a bigger saw. They can make sure they don't need a block to put under the splitter. Whatever they need, they're going to have sitting on the wall. They're going to have Bear Bond, the tape that holds the seams and pieces together when you have a situation like this, because you can't have extra body parts to come out and put on the truck anymore. You have to use what you have, and you can use some tape too.
And that was great information that Caitlin brought us earlier in regards to this 41 and how they anticipated that the red was coming, so they went ahead and took pictures of the damage on that right front, so then they could put together a plan. They could get a little better view of some of the things that were wrong with that truck to develop a plan on what to repair once we go back to yellow.
It looks like they're all getting in position to pounce too as soon as NASCAR gives them the go-ahead.
Again, Johnny Sauter's already clinched a spot with points earned during the day, so
I'd park that one.
No, that's done.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gaining any playoff points. I mean, there's really no reason for him to keep going. You can just cut your losses and move on there. But this one, 41 of Ben Rhodes, this is for his championship life.
As it sits right now, Rhodes and Friesen are outside the cut line. And there are those in yellow are playoff drivers, championship contenders who were involved in that accident. Let's go downstairs.
First one release is Matt Crafton. First of all, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. That was a lick for sure, but that's Talladega. I mean, that's what we race here for the wild wrecks and the crazy finishes. But all in all, I mean, we had great 2 first segments and then got hooked in the right rear on that one. I honestly don't know what happened. So, yeah, so close but so far. That's been my luck at the super speedways. Or 2 years ago in Daytona, I thought I was going to win the race, and next thing I knew, I was upside down. But that's how it goes.
We'll see what the fate is for Matt Crafton. Good points in the first 2 stages, but out after this big wreck in the last stage.
Yeah, 16 stage points today for Crafton could be huge for him as we look at how this shakes out and maybe advancing to the next round, the round of 6.
Crafton comes out of the infield care center, does all the media and interviews, and now he'll go sit in his hauler and wait and watch and hope that he can get enough points to move on to the next round.
Still under red here at Talladega, 35 to go, the final stage of this race. Grant Infinger is the leader. Spencer Gallagher also involved in that incident. Gallagher has led the most laps in this race, but he's done for the day, Phil.
Spencer had a fast truck here. What did you see from your vantage point?
Man, it's a damn shame for this GMS crew. I think we had hands down the fastest truck in the field today. I was able to go wherever I wanted to, whenever I wanted to, go from the back to, contending for the lead pretty much on command. But as you guys see there, just the guy running up in a position that he probably doesn't have the pace to keep gets turned, and unfortunately it cost us a great day. And I'm mad about it right now. That was this 2 teams' race to win, and I just got to apologize to the guys that we weren't able to pull this off. It kills me right now. It kills me.
Glad you're okay, buddy.
Thank you.
We've transitioned from red to yellow, an 11-minute, 42-second red flag. 10 involved in the big one at Talladega.